Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I would appreciate it. Majorly. Peanut would appreciate it too. Right, Peanut? Okay. It's funny. I took a screenshot of this. This is just a graph from a web page from the National Institute on Drug Abuse or something like that. And I don't know why I did. I did. And I don't think they have the same graph up there anymore. They don't like this graph. They have another one, but it's smaller or something. It doesn't mean anything. But you know what? I took a screenshot of this almost exactly a year ago. This is 1/29, 2019, and it's now February 1st, 2 days later, 1 year and 2 days later. Because it's just such a shocking thing, 70,000 overdose deaths in 2017. And the trajectory, obviously, in the last 2-3 years it's just absolutely shocking, obviously. But I've heard Trump say the same thing. Because I saw Kellyanne Conway giving a press conference, man, and I don't want to be overly righteous and just say how pathetic some persons have become, It's just sad, dude. It's just unbelievable. And she was bragging about how, the overdose deaths have gone down for the first time in 20 years, okay, by 4%. So this number here, 70,237, went down by 2,800 to 67,000, okay, in 2018. So it went down by 2,800. So it went down the first time in 20 years. It decreased. And that's like, she was bragging how good of a job they're doing. And, obviously, statistically stating that, you're stating a true statement, but it's just absurd. And it's just so awful, just 1 year, 70,000 or 67,000, whatever, okay? That's 1 year, how many people die from terrorism in 1 year in this country, last year? How many? I don't know, like 20, 20 people, not 20, not 2,000, not 2,500, not 20,000, like 20 or 40. It's absurd, dude. And she was bragging about how good they're doing because it's the first time it's decreased in 20 years. So, whatever. Well, I just felt like, that does come into what I'm talking. I'm here to talk about J.J. Vallow and TYLEE RYAN, the two missing kids from Idaho, okay? And that it doesn't have anything to do with their particular missing persons case, but in a very roundabout way, it does, okay? In more than one dimension. So, let me just go through some of the things I was looking at. Starting with, and I'm not necessarily, drawing any conclusions here. Everybody kind of, but I've been following this. I've made various statements in terms of what my theory is. I'm not absolutely married to my theory, because it obviously could be wrong. My theory is completely out of this world. I'm basically saying that Charles faked his own death, and how he would manage to do that would be very extremely complicated. And I don't see how you could do that without having some major sophisticated help and some very powerful friends. But that's what my gut is telling me. But I definitely don't think this is like murder or cold-blooded murder. I don't think Lori Vallow had her brother murder him, and I don't think her brother killed him in self-defense either. And at a minimum, I believe, he was either sick and he's trying to get paid on life insurance, but I don't think so, dude. I think maybe with Tammy that was the case. And I definitely do not think that anybody murdered her. But I do think her death is suspicious. So she didn't die of natural causes and nobody murdered her. So she's either alive or she was sick And they came up with this crazy scheme to make it look like there's all this suspicion surrounding her death because she basically just poisoned herself, or they poisoned her because they knew she was going to die anyway to get paid on life insurance, or she's just alive. Okay, and that's a distinct possibility too. But I'm telling you right now, I can just tell that there's a lot of people lying, and it's pretty much most people, not everybody, but most. So, and none of what anybody's saying makes sense. Okay, I mean, even like I said in one of my previous videos, as crazy as my ideas sound, they actually make the most sense out of anybody. But let's just look at some of these things, I'll have a few comments, but I can't draw any major conclusions from them. This is the latest thing. This is from Justin Lum Fox 10. K Vallow posted this on her Facebook page, and I saw it. But he's got it. This is from Fox 10 Phoenix. Justin Lum has been covering the story intensely, along with Adam Herberts and the dudes from East Idaho News. Nate Eaton and Eric Grossarth, I think is his name. Okay, and when you first read these, they're shocking and stuff. However, I mean, I do have a very, very basic fundamental question. Okay, hi boys, hi boy. This is Lori Vallow announcing that Charles is dead to his sons, to one of his sons. It's actually, I think, a group chat. Or a group text. So it's the two sons, that are in Texas that haven't really been in the picture too much. They've been talked about, just referenced as, Charles' oldest sons or stuff like that. I don't know if they're named by the news outlets or not. But, they're out there, and I've seen them. Everybody, they're on Facebook. So this is one of those two sons in Texas. I think this one lives in Texas, and I think another one lives in a different state, maybe Indiana. I can't remember which. But this is Lori speaking, saying, "Hi, boys. I have very sad news. Your dad passed away yesterday. I'm working on making arrangements, and I'll keep you informed with what's going on. I'm still not sure how to handle things. Just want you to know that I love you, and so did your dad." And, the son obviously reacts harshly, like, what happened? And I'll just read what he said, rather than commenting on every single text. "Lori, what happened? We are still," and this is Lori again, "Lori, we are still waiting for the ME medical examiner report. I'll let you know more when I can." And this is at like 4:30 in the afternoon, the day after he died. I believe that's the time of it. It continues, "I'll let you know more when I can. Where is he? What happened? I'll call you when I can, bub. He is here in Arizona. Where in Arizona? When did this all happen? How's JJ doing? What funeral home is he at? Lori, what the blank happened? You can't just tell us our dad died and disappear. You're not..." And then it gets cut off. "Lori, so Lori, what the blank happened? You can't just tell us our dad died and disappear. You're not too busy just to let us know he died and disappear. Lori, it's been 3 hours. You're not that busy. I don't care what you're doing. I'm sorry you are so upset. I'm so upset too. I'm trying to get JJ ready for bed. I'm waiting to hear back from the medical examiner to make sense out of all of this myself. Please be patient with me. I'm crushing. It's a crushing situation all around, and I'm still trying to process it too, and what it means for JJ. When and where is the funeral? How did this all happen? I want an explanation. I'm still waiting, working on arrangements and sorting things out the best I can. I'll let you know when I know. Why aren't you telling me what happened? I've asked numerous times. Just tell me." The business and contacting people, and it's all so difficult today. I'm trying to put up a memorial page on the funeral home website. I'll send a link to you when I have it. I love you, and so does your dad. So does your dad. This is the 16th, July 16th. He was killed on the 11th. I appreciate this information, but I will ask these questions again because I still haven't been given an answer. What happened? When did it happen? How did it happen? Where is he now? Is there a funeral? When is it? Who have you told about his death? Give me all information you have, please. My brother and I deserve to know. Okay, so, and that's the 16th. So a few days after the shooting of Charles Vallow. I mean, I can't possibly know what's going on, but I mean, the first thing I ask myself is how come there's no actual phone conversation between the two. I mean, is she not answering the phone when he calls her? Very possible, very possible. But by this time, I mean, you would think that you would have just had a phone conversation with them, and I mean, the only thing I assume the explanation is that she refused to answer her phone. But it seems like there's an explanation for everything in this whole situation. Okay. I talked about this. I'm just going through things one at a time, and then I just want to show you a few other things, man. That just telling you, I know something's going on, man. I know it. I just know it. I know it in my gut, or like, at least I think it. It's just a theory. And I talked about this picture here, and this is the day they updated their profile picture. Kay Vallow and Larry Woodcock. Kay Vallow Woodcock, the grandparents of JJ. She's the sister of Charles. And they've been out in front, obviously, tons. They've been all over television. CBS This Morning, GMA, Dr. Oz, I think, as well as many other local affiliates have had interviews with them, press conferences, and so forth. They've been there at every step. And they basically got this whole thing started when they requested the welfare check on JJ in late November, a couple days prior to November 26th. That's the day they served the search warrant. And by that point, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell had left the home where supposedly JJ and TYLEE were staying, along with Lori in Rexburg, Idaho, and had left the state altogether. And they had been there the day before. They got a story from Lori and Chad that they were staying with friends in Arizona that didn't check out, so they came back the next day with a search warrant, and they were all gone. Or the kids weren't there that day either, the day before. But this picture, that was updated on her profile picture on December 22nd, which is 2 days after they officially put out a missing persons report. The Rexburg Police Department did on December 20th. I think I made a video right on this day on December 22nd. I wasn't aware of this little tidbit, but this is 2 days after the Rexburg Police Department officially put out a missing persons report on JJ and TYLEE. So, the grandparents updated their profile picture with a picture of them and JJ 2 days later, basically beginning the awareness campaign, sort of. Okay. And I was making notice that, this is like your check-in section of your Facebook page, which isn't, I don't fully understand how this works altogether. I understand it some, okay? And this doesn't necessarily mean that they were in Princeville, Hawaii, the same place where Chad and Lori are right now, and Chad or Lori and Charles lived, for 2.5 years. This doesn't necessarily mean that they were in Princeville, Hawaii on December 22nd, 2019. All right. Somebody mentioned that they were there when the actual picture was taken. Okay. Which I could actually buy that. I could, definitely. And they labeled this, this is JJ's fourth birthday, and that would have been March 2016 when Lori and Charles were living in Hawaii still. They lived all the way up till mid 2016. This is right before they probably left and came back to. So they could have all been there then. All right. That's just fine, and But my question is somebody, that's somebody's picture on Facebook. That's why it has that tag on it. Okay, that's why it has the Princeville, Hawaii tag on it. Somebody did that when the picture was taken and it was uploaded to their Facebook page. And it's not on Kay Vallow's Facebook page, and it's not on anybody's Facebook page. Okay, and so I'm saying, where did that photo come from? That's what I'm saying. Because that photo was uploaded on somebody's Facebook page, or I guess Instagram page, and that picture was taken by somebody else. I mean, it was taken by somebody who's holding the camera, who's ever holding the phone, and they uploaded it to their Facebook page on JJ's 4th birthday, I guess, while they were in Princeville, Hawaii. And so where is that original photo? Because that's why it's got that tag. And that's that. This video, which is also on Kay Vallow's Facebook page, which she said, vid we came across tonight, and this is the 21st. I'm almost positive. This is a day before, a day before this picture. Even though, this got edited a couple times, and when they labeled it JJ's 4th birthday. But it says, vid we came across tonight, JJ and Dad. This is Charles. We miss you both terribly. Our hearts are broken. Please keep praying for JJ and TYLEE's safe return. And you can hear Charles in the background.
Show Mama Bobo.
That's Charles. He's filming
What's it called? JJ, what's your toy called? Toilet trouble? Bart, your new favorite toy, JJ. What's your new favorite toy? Show Mama Bobo.
That doesn't. That's basically my first impression is that's Charles videoing the video. Making that video. He's holding his own phone and videoing his adopted son, his sister's grandson. So that would be on his phone. He could have sent it to somebody else in his family. That's very possible. But that's the first thing that pops into my head. My other thoughts, and believe me, I have something else to just show you. My other thoughts about, how they would pull this off. I've laid out some of these things, and maybe I'm right about some of it. Maybe I'm completely way off. But let's say, just for argument's sake, either way, let's say that Charles Vallow faked his own death, and he somehow miraculously was able to do that because of, I don't know how. Okay, how would I know exactly? I don't have super powerful friends, and I'm not super rich or have super rich friends. That sounds nuts, but you would need a lot of help to get this done, no doubt about it. But let's say he did that, and basically the payday was a number of different life insurance policies, his own, maybe Tammy Daybell, whether or not Alex Cox is in there, and Joseph Ryan, the third husband that died in December or April 2018, before all this kind of got started. But after, let's say he either faked his own death and he's out there somewhere alive, or he staged his death so that it would look like he was killed by Alex Cox in self-defense, when in fact he was going to die from some terminal illness and he wanted to just get paid on life insurance. But, and certain parties were supposed to get paid. They were all, there was various people that were helping with it, and each person was expected to get a cut. But let's say after that's done, Lori was like, you know what? He's dead now, or he's supposed to be dead. So, no, I'm keeping it all. And let's say Charles is still alive. He can't come out and say that because he's supposed to be dead. And even if he is really dead and he was just, somehow gaming the life insurance thing, it would be very difficult for other parties that basically helped in this elaborate scheme to get paid, to get their cut, and without if Lori just said no, after it was all said and done, in the beginning it was all like everybody's friends and everybody's great, but when it was all done, she can just walk away and be like, no, I'm keeping it all. So that was just one other thought. Anyways, I don't know. I was looking at this. I just brought it up for the heck of it. Quest Diagnostics, and this is sort of why I brought up the graph and the bar diagram of drug overdose deaths. Quest Diagnostics, which I know the name of the company. It's a publicly traded company. It's got a market cap of $14.9 billion. Almost $15 billion. And that's not the only thing they do. It's drug testing and toxicology reports. But I think that's a growing, burgeoning, growing industry, budding industry. $15 billion. That's a lot. Anyway, but in all this thought, it just it occurred to me to think, like, who's the coroner in Chandler, Arizona? And it's actually Maricopa County. It's by county. And it's this dude, Jeffrey Johnson, who's been it for some time, since June 2013. Okay, Jeffrey Johnston. But just for the heck of it, I ended up finding this article how in February of 2018, several people that work in the coroner's office, in the toxicology lab or whatever, were shocked to find out they were losing their jobs because they were downsizing, they were outsourcing all the toxicology, analysis to an outside private company called NMS Laboratories, which is National Medical Services Laboratories, NMS Labs. Okay, and I looked at the company, and it seems to be a very growing company, and it's privately, family-owned, the board has got lots of family members on it, and it now has a chairman of the board who's been on the board, but he's not the chairman of the board, who's sort of, had run a couple publicly traded companies, and it's probably going to start, looks like it's moving in the private equity direction. And eventually, my guess is this, eventually wants to go public and be this guy, be this $15 billion company. That day when, that huge payday eventually comes and you make tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. Anyways, but NMS Laboratories. So, I just started looking into the company, and it does seem like it's growing. It's been growing. They've been in business for some time. They seem to have fairly reputable family. Okay, but I got the funniest feeling that their growth took off big time when somebody got elected. When Trump got elected. They're connected to government. It's majorly connected to government and law enforcement. Okay, and counties and coroners' offices and so forth. I think they tout that they work with 2,000 different whatever. That doesn't mean anything. This is them right there. NMS Labs. You know what this is? This is this right here. See that? See what that says? It says Paddock Autopsy. Okay? This is the Stephen Craig Paddock Autopsy from the Clark County, coroner's office in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's what that is. And I don't know. I was pretty surprised, even though I'm not surprised, That's the story there, dude. That is the story there. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.